Are you ready to grow your business and you don't know how? You're in the right spot. I'm Debbie Shadid, and you're listening to the Women's Business Success Show. I teach women how to grow their business by stripping away any confusion of how to get more clients and how to make more profit. If you're stuck, this podcast is for you. I've got simple strategies and I share shortcuts for you to grow your business without the drama and the doubt. Now let's get started. Hello. Welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about fear. I want to talk about what is stopping you from growing your business. And for many of you guys, it is fear. So we're going to be talking about 3 ways that you can move through fear faster so you can enlarge your life and have more of everything you want in your business and your life. So why are we talking about fear? This is the one thing that is keeping people at a standstill. They want to put themselves out there. They want to have more in their life. They want to be more visible, but they don't because of fear. They're fearful of being found out as if they don't know what they're doing, like they're going to get caught. They're fearful of offering a service they don't know how to provide. They're fearful of asking for money, especially for the money that they deserve. They're fearful of social media, fear of making a mistake. So it really keeps them from just not doing anything. Can you relate to this? I want to challenge you today to not be passively listening to this podcast. I want you to actually do this exercise and walk through these steps, these 3 steps that I'm going to talk to you about. You're never going to know what's stopping you unless you really stop and look at it. And today it could be revealed to you. Awareness is the first step to everything. You can't change what you don't know. All right, so number 1, I want you to write down all of your fears. Everything. Your fear of failing with one more diet. You're fearing your business, about your finances. You're going to go broke. Nobody's going to hire you. Somebody's going to find out that you don't know what you're talking about. Those are the kind of fears that you want to write down. And then you're going to look at each one of those things on the list. And just ask yourself, is this really something that I need to fear? You want to launch your website and you haven't done it because you don't want to put yourself out in the world. Ask yourself, is this really something you need to fear? Is the world going to end if you launch that website, if you go live on Facebook? No, and you're not going to die even if you get embarrassed when you mess up. Is the feeling of fear going to cause you to just have a panic attack at the next networking event? No, it's not. What if you walk into a networking event and you mess up what you're saying? Is that going to be the end of the world? No, it's not. So look at those fears, put them on paper, be the watcher of them, observe what you've written down, and make those a little bit more neutral. When they get out of your mind and onto a piece of paper, they become more neutral. Then I want you to ask yourself if you can have real perspective and if you even need to be worried about this. Is the fear that you have really something to be worried about? This is where you begin to question yourself. How big of a deal is it? How big of a deal am I actually making of this? Like we're building a mountain out of this thing that is not that big of a deal. Is it true that you could fail? Of course it is. Is it true that you could live through shame? Yes, you can. People could talk about you. You fill in the blank. What would be the worst case scenario that you would be so embarrassed, so humiliated, so ashamed about? Could you live through it? Yes. You guys look at that list and ask yourself, is this real? Am I making too big of a deal out of this? Or can I live through it? And then I want you to analyze it. What are you specifically afraid of? If it is, I don't want to launch my website, I don't want to show up on social media, then we need to create a list of things that you're really afraid of and what it is within that list. So if it is social media, what is it? Is it because you don't know what to say? Is it because you're going to have typos in your spelling? Is it because your pictures look bad? Is it because you don't want a picture of yourself on there? Is it because you're afraid you might sound like you're bragging? What is it? List out all the things it is for each one of your fears. And then we want to see what we can learn to solve those. Could you hire someone to help you? You could hire somebody to do your social media. You could hire somebody to do pictures of you. You could hire somebody to check your copy to make sure there is no typos. You could hire someone to teach you how to do it. And then I want you to think about solving the problem. Like you have control of solving whatever the problem is. This thing that you're worried about, you can actually educate yourself. You can practice if you need to. So when you do that, that is a way of taming that feeling. That's a way of telling yourself, again, if you were the watcher stepping outside of yourself, you're telling yourself, hey, don't worry, you got this. I've got you all prepared now. There's nothing to be worried about. All right, number 2, I want you to imagine how fear feels. Now, for every kind of fear that you have, it could be different. So if your fear is of heights, your legs might be weak. Your knees might feel like they're going to give way to you. If your fear is public speaking, you might feel like, your throat is tight. Whatever the fear is that you've listed, look at each one of those and decide to experience it. Invite the fear in. Really deep breath. Let it come in. See what happens. Then sit there and hold it. Imagine the thing that you are so scared about, that you are actually doing it. You are on Facebook Live talking. You're at a networking event. You're at something standing up in front of everybody, right? You're doing it, and then let the fear be there. See the fear, again, almost as if you're outside yourself looking at it, and you're just in the middle of it. And then you're just reminding yourself, wait, I can live through this, right? You feel it, you breathe through it. This is such a powerful practice because you're going to find out that it's not that big of a deal. The more that you do this, the more that you will diffuse this feeling of fear. And remember, in step number 1, I ask you to figure out ways to solve it. So if you've solved it and you've felt it, and now you are just letting it be there, it will get easier. You see, you want to feel it and see it's not a problem. Then number 3, whatever the fears are, whatever you're not doing that is keeping you from growing, I want you to schedule it on your calendar, make a commitment to it, and then just do it. I want you to expect that for whatever it is, fear is going to come. It's always going to be there. It's your friend that comes right along with you. Accept that feeling. Know it's going to be there. Acknowledge it. I see you. I know you're here along for the ride. And then just keep moving forward. If you learn how to do this, you guys, you are going to be able to do anything. If you don't feel fear, your goal is not big enough. So ask yourself, what would you be willing to do if your child was sick? You would not fear doing anything. I mean, if it was like, I've got to find a way to save my child, you would run out and into a pool if you didn't know how to swim and you'd try to save your child. You wouldn't fear anything. Your heart would be beating. You would be having anxiety, but you would go do it anyway. What would you be willing to do if you knew that you could have massive success no matter what? If you knew it was coming and you just had to do this thing and this thing and this thing, and success was on the other side of that, you would do it. You would live through the fear. What if you knew that you could change the world? You could change one person. You could change one event. You could create a magical experience for somebody. You could change one client at a time. Is that enough for you? Oh my gosh, I hope it is. I just want to say to you guys, any fear that you're worried of, chances are you've already experienced all of those things in your life. In some way, fashion, or form, you have been scared. You have had that terrifying something feeling, and you live through it. So it's something that's familiar. You just have to tell yourself, I got this. I can do this. Because here's the deal, you guys. Our best life is on the other side of fear. Did you hear that? Your best life is on the other side of fear. Don't stop it. If you have goals and if you want more, if you want to grow, if you want to change, all of those new things, fear is part of it. Decide today that fear is okay and that you're just going to expect it. Fear is that cave woman screaming at you, just saying, wait, don't do it, stay right here. Stay in the cave. It is safe right here. Just tell your cave woman to not worry about that. You've got this, that you're prepared, that fear is not that big of a deal, that you have worked out a way to practice and get your questions answered, and that you know you can do it. And by the way, that you won't die from any kind of shame or humiliation, all of that. Look, you guys, you have got this. I want you to have everything that you want in your business. I know you can do this. I believe in you, and I know what is possible. Okay, you guys, so go back through this podcast and do those 3 steps. So you write down your fears, you imagine how it will feel, and then you schedule it and you do it. Okay, my dear, until next time, have an amazing, incredible week. Talk to you very soon. Bye-bye. All right, my friends, that is it. Now it is up to you. I want you to take the strategies. I want you to go implement them so you can grow your business, skip the overwhelm and the doubt. Until next time, bye-bye.